el sur global levantamos nuestras voces para decir que se anulen las deudas financieras ilegítimas que empobrecen a nuestros pueblos.
Para exigir que la deuda del sur sea anulada.
And we have found a way that we can connect the workers with the climate and social movements of the world. It's up to us to lead the transition. The IMF and the World Bank, they are keeping our countries in the global south in so much debt that we are forced to keep expanding the fossil fuel industry just to keep up paying the interest on the loans.
System change, not climate change. System change, not climate change.
The IMF is wielding its power as a creditor to push for further fossil fuel extraction by US and Europe companies.
I am here to speak for my people. People in Kenya are dying, while people sitting in that castle are talking about fossil fuel expansion.
La Argentina es un caso de cómo el FMI impone un préstamo récord de 44.000 millones de dólares.
Su enriquecimiento particular y de sus empresas a expensa de la destrucción de la naturaleza y de la vida social.
BlackRock, hypocrisy, Sri Lanka is not your colony.
BlackRock is one of the biggest financial owners of sovereign debt. They are keeping the global south with their knee on our neck, including Sri Lanka, including Zambia, Argentina, and many countries of the global south.
Because of this debt, our country can't take real action for climate. Sri Lankan people deserve decent lives. We deserve to live in an environment that is safe for our animals, our biodiversity, and our ecosystems, and our people.
Romania is one of the most affected countries in Europe by the loans that the capitalist government over time have taken from the IMF and from the World Bank that were supposed to help raise our quality of life, but instead help the bank accounts of the rich to cash in some more money stolen from the working class.
Y decimos que no a la deuda ilegal del Fondo Monetario Internacional, no a los venenos de Bayer Monsanto, no a las empresas que saquean, contaminan y enferman.
Kutoka kwao tunataka tuweze kujisimamia na kuendesha uchumi wetu, pamoja na kwamba watusamehe madeni yetu ili tuweze kutengeneza mabadiliko yetu ya hali ya hewa.
We call on the G7 countries to cancel the debt. The global debt drives the climate crisis.
Una hipocresía hacia la crisis civilizatoria que vive todo nuestro planeta.
Debt blocks climate action. Despite overwhelming local resistance, global south countries are forced to dig up and export fossil fuel supplies in order to get the foreign currency to pay their foreign debt.
We want to implement a just transition in the developing world. We want to end climate change. Cancelling the actual IMF and World Bank debt is just a down payment for all of their obligations. So in order to bring the practice of justice to climate justice, we want them to pay what is rightfully due.
Our wealth now is built on the pain and the debt of people in those countries. And we, with all of that wealth, have created a massive ecological debt that is being felt most harshly by people in the global south.
The global north has the largest climate debts.
With Debt for Climate, we demand to IMF and the World Bank to cancel the debt of the global south.
We want the countries in the global north to take responsibility of the actions, to take responsibility of what is happening in our countries.
We want them to stop this colonial project in my country, Uganda.
Le progrès, la richesse, le développement des pays développés et riches actuellement c'est fait sur l'exploitation de notre terre-mère et sur l'exploitation et le génocide de nos peuples.
Es por todo esto que este es un llamado urgente a todos los trabajadores y movimientos ambientales del norte global a unirnos. El norte global, con políticas financieras abusivas, pretende perpetuar un ciclo de explotación de nuestros recursos, energía y mano de obra, sosteniendo gran parte de su riqueza aparente a costa del saqueo neocolonial al que nos vemos enfrentados y enfrentadas los países más pobres.
Nous ne demandons pas un acte de charité, mais un acte de justice sociale et écologique. Le FMI et la Banque mondiale sont coupables depuis trop longtemps pour leurs activités criminelles en utilisant le poids de la dette pour agir contre la souveraineté des peuples et aussi pour promouvoir un système libéral néocolonisateur.
The countries in the G7 have built their wealth on the purposeful underdevelopment of the global south.
G7, we want justice for colonialism. We are tired.
Il est inacceptable que notre population continue à souffrir, continue à payer un lourd tribut à cause des dettes qui ont été contractées par le Belge lors de l'époque coloniale.
Anular las deudas ilegítimas que existen sobre los países del sur.
Stop your neocolonialism with your multinational corporation operating in global south.
G7, IMF, World Bank, take the knee off the neck of the global south.
One of the richest countries in the world, India became one of the poorest. Between 1765 and 1938, Britain drained a total of $45 trillion.
Creo que el mayor peligro que tiene la humanidad es no tomar el tema del clima, del cambio climático y que es una crisis.
Por eso la importancia, compañeros, de unirnos en organizaciones, con el protagonismo de los trabajadores en esta lucha ambiental, de América Latina, de África, de Europa, de Estados Unidos, del sudeste asiático, con un único lema: la deuda es con los pueblos y con la naturaleza. Muchísimas gracias.
World leaders need to enter into a new social contract to all the people, to all the indigenous and poor people around the world. And that new social contract is debt cancellation.
Cancel the debt now.
Cancel the debt.
Cancel the debt of the global south.
La deuda es con el pueblo y la naturaleza.
Turn debt into climate action.
Turn debt into climate action.
Turn debt into climate action. Climate justice now.
Queremos justicia climática.
This is only the start of a campaign, multi-year campaign, to hold the global north accountable for its climate obligations to the global south.